All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Donna Turner. I'm the interim president and CEO of CancerCare Manitoba, and I'm really excited to welcome you all here today. This is a very exciting day for Manitoba. To begin today's press conference, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and ancestral lands of Indigenous peoples, and to offer our respect and gratitude as we begin with our land acknowledgement. So CancerCare Manitoba provides health services across Manitoba on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dakota Iwate, and Dene peoples. We acknowledge that Manitoba is also located on the homeland of the Red River Métis, and northern Manitoba includes lands that were and are the ancestral lands of the Inuit. CancerCare Manitoba acknowledges that colonial practices and policies have impacted the health and well-being of generations of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who continue to experience inequities and obstacles in accessing healthcare, including cancer services along the cancer continuum. At CancerCare Manitoba, we respect the spirit and intent of the treaties and treaty making and remain committed to working in partnership with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples in the spirit of trust, reconciliation, and collaboration, while also improving cancer control and outcomes for all Manitobans. All right, so we are joined today by a number of special guests in addition to the ones that are up here at the podium with me. I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. Anita Stenning, the previous president and CEO of the CancerCare Manitoba Foundation. Doug Pollard, the current chair of the CancerCare Manitoba Foundation Board, and Patty Smith, the president and CEO of the CancerCare Manitoba Foundation currently. And of course, huge welcome to all the CancerCare Manitoba staff, our partners and stakeholders who've enjoyed us here for today for this announcement. So now it's my pleasure to invite the Honourable Wab Kinew, Premier of Manitoba, to speak.
We're here today to announce that we're building a beautiful new state-of-the-art cancer care facility here on the Health Sciences Centre campus. And for those of you who are at home, if you could see behind the cameras, you'd get a real sense for why we need more space for the amazing work that takes place with CancerCare Manitoba. You know, every family in this province has a story about cancer. If it's not a lived experience for us ourselves, it's been something that has affected somebody we care deeply about, somebody that we love. And for too many of our families, these have been challenging, tough stories that we've had to live through. But when we talk about CancerCare, the organization here in Manitoba, we're talking about the best of the best. We're talking about the most caring staff. We're talking about the best researchers pretty much anywhere on planet Earth. And we're talking about some of the most compassionate, life-saving healthcare interventions that we see anywhere in Canada. And so we're going to make sure that you as Manitobans can get the best possible cancer care right here close to home. Now, it was about 8 years ago the previous government cut this project and canceled the new CancerCare headquarters. So today we're happy to say that our government is stepping up where the previous government stepped back, and together we're all going to take a step forward to a beautiful future where Manitobans who are fighting cancer get the support that they need close to home in a world-class building. It's been said by many that fighting cancer is a marathon, not a sprint. And so if you or your loved one receives this challenging diagnosis, we want you to get world-class, best-in-class care here close to home in a facility with the space and the resources for you to run that marathon with your cancer care providers in comfort and in health, with your mental health and your spiritual and emotional needs looked after as well. And that's what this facility is going to provide. We know that it's also going to help us to attract even more world-class physicians, cancer care researchers, the nurses, and the healthcare teams who work alongside each other at the bedside to deliver that extraordinary healthcare for you. When we think about some of the great physicians who we're joined by today, think of other leading experts like Dr. Zirachansky. These folks are the bright beacons of light in our healthcare system who send out a signal and attract a team of talent around them. And when we have this new facility online in the coming years, we're going to be able to attract more of those bright beacons of light, send out that message to young Manitobans that we need you working in the healthcare system, and send that message that when you invest years to go to nursing school or medical school or to become an allied health professional or a support staff member, that your government and your province values that work. And we're going to make sure that you go to work in a wonderful, amazing facility that allows you to not just answer a job posting, but to answer a calling. So I'm very, very grateful for the amazing leadership of those on the front lines and the leadership here at CancerCare Manitoba. And to you, the people of Manitoba who have been fighting cancer in so many different ways, either by living through it yourself or by helping your loved one, your neighbor, through their cancer journey, I would say this. There's been an accountability process playing out in the courts over tobacco, big tobacco, and a settlement is on the way. And this announcement of the new facility is our commitment to making sure that any resources that Manitobans receive in the future for the accountability of those cancer-causing chemicals, that we're going to invest every single dollar in curing cancer, in fighting cancer, and supporting cancer patients every step of the way. Miigwech, merci. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Premier Kinew. Exciting and inspiring words. And I would like now to ask the Honourable Minister Uzoma Asagwara, Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care, to say a few words.
Thanks, Dr. Turner. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Premier. Thank you, Dr. Dhaliwal and Dr. Turner and others for joining us today. Thank you to all of the healthcare team members I can see down that hallway. As the Premier said, an example. I see that wave. I don't know who you are, but thank you for being here today, folks, for this really, really important and historic, quite frankly, announcement. It feels great to finally be taking a big step forward on this commitment. The new facility is going to change the game for cancer care in our province. Manitoba is already a leader in cancer treatments, and whenever I speak to a cancer patient or family who's navigating a cancer journey, they tell me about the outstanding care, the compassionate care they receive at CancerCare. And that is thanks to the incredible frontline staff, team members, researchers, the patience of nurses, doctors, allied healthcare professionals, support staff, who work on the front lines, who do this work each and every day. Working in cancer can be difficult. Patients are dealing with a disease and a journey that does not discriminate. It affects every family in every corner of this province in some way. But every single day, the teams at CancerCare go above and beyond to provide comfort and cutting-edge care to each patient so they have the best chance at the best outcome possible. Our government wants to keep this momentum going, and this new facility is a huge step forward in what is possible for cancer care in Manitoba. It's going to give much needed space to patients so that they can get their treatments in a place that prioritizes dignity and hope. But it's also going to allow Manitobans to flex their research muscles, to flex our research muscles as a province. With all of the incredible advancements in cancer research, Manitoba needs a place where patients can access the latest technology, the most cutting-edge clinical trials, and the best of the best. Right now, CancerCare Manitoba has to make do with what some folks call a patchwork of infrastructure that, quite frankly, wastes time and wastes money and resources. In many respects, our province is doing its absolute best to deliver yesterday's care because we don't have the space to welcome the future. This facility will change that. It's going to attract leading clinical providers and researchers and bring them together under one roof to collaborate. Manitoba patients will see the benefits in their care and their experience on their cancer journeys. I want to thank the advocacy of people like Dr. Dhaliwal and the CancerCare Board and the Foundation who have pushed for a space that makes our province proud. I also want to thank the frontline staff. Many folks have reached out to us to express their ideas, their excitement for us to deliver on this commitment to Manitobans. I also want to thank previous CEO Dr. Sri Navaratnam because I know she was also a fierce advocate for the new headquarters. And I want to thank Dr. Turner for her steady and consistent and dedicated leadership in this interim role. I want to thank you all for your service. Let's keep working together to make cancer care better in Manitoba. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Asagwara. And now I would like to ask Dr. Dhaliwal, who's a past president and CEO of CancerCare Manitoba, to say a few words. Dr. Dhaliwal and I go back a few years, so it's really great to welcome him home. Welcome back to the podium.
Good afternoon. It's lovely to see quite a few faces I'm familiar with. Premier, Minister Asagwara, Dr. Turner, thank you for the invitation. It's a tough time for our province at the moment. There are so many people displaced by fire. And I think some of these patients may be cancer patients. Others may have more serious general health problems. But I gather Dr. Turner and others are already making provisions how to deal with this emergency. And that's an indication of our provincial role and how important it is to be prepared. This is really an important announcement, and I'm excited to be here. It signifies, Premier, that your government actually keeps the promises to invest in healthcare. Let me say a few words about the urgent need for this project. I recall that in October 2003, eons ago, it seems to me now, as the new CEO, I was asked to approve a conversion of 2 toilets into office space. Having built a new cancer center in Thunder Bay, I knew that you never convert toilets into office space because toilets are too expensive to build. Our facility manager, who had put the approval under the bottom of the pile, was somewhat surprised that I knew that. But I was also surprised that this recently opened facility, which was opened in spring 2003, was already full. So we temporized by taking over the library and converting spaces for clinical use. And this process has continued over the past 2 decades. The shortage of space continued to trouble me throughout my tenure. The relentless increase in cancer patients and the associated workload we accommodated it by every creative means possible. Some of it involved renting spaces outside. This led to fragmentation of care, inefficiencies, and poor use of our operating dollars. planning for the new space to accommodate research, new programs, started in earnest and was approved by Premier Selinger in 2011. I've lost quite a lot of hair since then. And this was confirmed in 2016. As you heard from Premier, unfortunately, it was cancelled. With doubling of cancer incidents, dramatic advances that improve the outcomes in many previously intractable cancers, we have to innovate. We have to keep abreast of new developments. The proposed building is not only essential, it's urgently needed. It'll be a boon, as you've heard, for recruitment and retention, and we need the highly sought after staff and specialists. I hope community leaders province-wide will come together to work with your government, Premier, and federal leaders in the new spirit of rapid action to realize this dream and open this much-needed space, I hope at least within your second mandate. I hope to be around to cheer you on. My spirit certainly will be. Thank you, Miigwech.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dhaliwal. Just to put the cherry on the top of such a nice series of announcements. So this is a very exciting day for CancerCare Manitoba and indeed all Manitobans. On behalf of all of us, I want to sincerely thank the province for your continued commitment to CancerCare Manitoba and to the people of this province who are affected by cancer. Today's announcement represents a significant and long-awaited investment in cancer services, one that will benefit Manitobans in every corner of the province. This new building is going to be more than bricks and mortar. It's the foundation that will allow us to better serve patients across Manitoba now and into the future. It will support a truly comprehensive cancer program, bringing together clinical care, research and support services to ensure that patients have access to the highest quality care regardless of where they live. We've been planning this second building at this site for over a decade, as you've heard. It's incredibly meaningful to see that vision become a reality. This expansion will allow us to meet increasing demand, modernize how we deliver care, and continue to improve outcomes for Manitobans. As Manitoba's provincial cancer authority, we remain focused on providing high-quality, evidence-based care. While we look to the future, our teams continue to deliver excellence in cancer services every single day. This truly is a milestone for us and for those receiving cancer care across our province. We're grateful again to the province for taking this important step forward, and we remain dedicated to delivering the best possible care to those we serve. Thank you. And so now I believe we have some time for questions.
Sorry, what was the question? Some milestones and some numbers? Yeah, for sure. So this year's budget set out $11.5 million to do the design work. So that's one of the milestones that we're here to celebrate. There's an RFP process that just closed. So in terms of this being long talked about, it's happening for real now. We're moving ahead. There's real dollars. There's real design work that's being done in earnest. We're looking at August 2026 in terms of the active construction. process kicking off. You can, I guess, take a look at the site when you're heading out after this press conference. We anticipate it'll be about a 4-year construction process. In terms of dollars, and I want to stress that this is very preliminary estimates that we're talking about here, so there's going to be some flexibility. We're looking at about $815 million for this new build, but again, that's a preliminary estimate. I think fairly you could expect this to be a $1 billion project once we factor in capital, equipment, and really scoping this to match the needs that cancer patients have and these amazing physicians who work to provide that world-class care to our loved ones when they need it. Pardon? I'm sorry, there's an elevator working double duty behind me. Well, I think there's a few factors, but the biggest is the need. We're talking about the need of cancer patients and the need of these heroes who you see gathered around today who take care of them. And when we look at what it's going to take for cancer care to maintain its world-class reputation and to be able to draw people in, you're talking about important investments. I'd love us to see... I'd love us to see some of the investments that we've made around the research chairs we funded in the past 2 budgets, right, to drive some of the recruitment of clinician researchers to work in this new facility. You know, when you talk about the leading edge of cancer research, whether it's medications, whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's nanotechnology, this investment is going to allow Manitoba to be at the forefront of that, with the ultimate goal of being able to say, if you need to fight cancer, you're going to get the best treatment in the world right here at home. And again, keeping with that idea that it's a marathon, not a sprint, if you can be closer to your family, closer to your supports, be in a beautiful facility with space and with the best of the best when it comes to expertise around you, that's how you're going to be able to maintain that marathon and hopefully hear those 4 magic words: you are cancer free.
You're waiting on tobacco settlement.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep.
You're waiting on tobacco settlement for this. It hasn't come yet. If it doesn't come within the next year or 2, are we still progressing with this?
Yeah. Yes, we will. Yeah.
How much do you expect that settlement?
Can't really get into the specifics due to the nature of the process playing out right now, just where it's at.
Any other questions on travel from the north or isolated communities? Is there any thought to accommodations for people out of Winnipeg who need to stay here, similar to what Princess Margaret has in Toronto?
I can tell you that there's a lot of scoping work that has to happen before we turn this rendering into an amazing facility across the street, kitty corner, I guess, to be more accurate. But what I would say is you have a government that wants best in class. So Princess Margaret, if they got the best when it comes to nanotech being applied to cancer, we want CancerCare Manitoba to be in the game. And if other services for patients needs to be a part of that conversation, then bring that forward and let's work on it together. But the reality is CancerCare Manitoba is, as we speak, a leader. This is about making sure we're going to maintain that status for the next generation, that we're going to have the best in class facility to keep the amazing people caring for our loved ones in good stead. We got a question way in the back. I could
Is there a budget to help increase the baseline staff to operate such a wonderful facility that's upcoming, so we can continue to provide excellent care for our Manitoba patients?
Yeah, you got the Minister of Health. He said that's an excellent question. So I think they want in on this. Yeah.
Thank you, Premier. Thank you for that question. Yeah, of course. As the Premier stated, you know, we're moving into the design part of this coming together, but every single step of the way, our government is working hand in hand with CancerCare, with your leadership, and we want to hear directly from folks on the front lines to understand what does this new footprint mean in terms of operations? What does that mean in terms of the people at the bedside? You can build a beautiful new building and facility, but it's really about the people who provide that compassionate quality care. So yeah, we know that there's going to be a requirement for more folks. Part of making sure we're communicating this really early is so that we can start doing the work, whether it's at post-secondary, even as early as middle school and high school. You know, what is it that your career in cancer care services can look like? There are a lot of opportunities, and we want Manitobans to have a full understanding of what those opportunities are and to work with all of our partners to make sure we're staffing accordingly.
Minister, on a different note, you had a meeting recently with an advocate for internationally educated nurses of African descent, and there's been complaints that these individuals are being deported to college more often, sometimes unfairly. From your understanding, is this happening?
What I can say is that Manitoba is a province that welcomes all. Our healthcare system is strong, lots of challenges that our government is working hand in hand with the front lines and leaders to address. But part of what makes our healthcare system and structure here in Manitoba so strong is the diversity of the folks who provide care. A diverse and representative healthcare workforce is one that improves outcomes for patients. And so we want for all healthcare workers in this province to feel welcomed, to feel safe, and have a dignified work experience to provide the best care to Manitobans. So we're really proud to be a province that welcomes people from all around the globe to join the front lines. And I think it's really important for us to be clear that internationally educated nurses and healthcare workers more broadly are foundational to us providing quality care in Manitoba. And so, yeah, I had a conversation with the Canadian Black Nurses Alliance of Canada, who's been hearing concerns, but I've made very clear to them we had a wonderful meeting about how we work together across jurisdictions and certainly across our partnerships here in the province to ensure that every single nurse has a positive experience and knows that they are valued in our healthcare system. So we take these concerns that are raised very seriously, and we're going to continue to work with the college so that the experience that IENs have with the regulatory body is as positive as possible. We want Manitoba to be a place that is a leader in this space in terms of recruitment.
Were you surprised to hear those concerns from the Canadian Black Nurses Alliance?
I've been hearing concerns, and our government's been hearing concerns from very early on about experiences folks have had with the college, and we've been working with them to strengthen and improve that reputation. We want Manitoba to be a place that nurses are thrilled to be a part of. And I hear from folks all the time that they love working in Manitoba. I've met recently with some US trained nurses who have moved to Manitoba very recently who love it here. They're having a great time working in our healthcare system. I've met with and I visit with nurses of all identities and backgrounds, including Black nurses, who love practicing in Manitoba. And so we want to make sure that we're working with the regulatory body and all regulatory bodies to ensure that folks have a positive experience when they're trying to get their licenses here in Manitoba. We want to make sure patients are safe. We want to make sure that nurses are supported to join the front lines.
We've hired 2,000 new frontline staffers in the healthcare system. We've added more than 600 new educators in the school system, and we're working with every province in Canada to build up the true north so it'll be strong and free forever and ever, and will never be the 51st state.
Chris Weave is also upset by the idea that your government would support LNG or oil coming up through Churchill when you previously told candidates for your party that you did not support pipelines. What's the change?
Well, I reject the assertion at the heart of the question that you phrased. I'll say it's a big tent, and there's room for everybody on board Team Manitoba.
He also said you have a top-down leadership style and compared you to Brian Pallister. Is that a fair comparison?
I think anyone who's seen me try to play basketball would reject the comparison to Brian Pallister, and for what it's worth, I've never seen Brian Pallister put on a pair of skates or pick up a hockey stick. So I'll keep investing in healthcare. Folks are free to tweet what they like, but job one is serving you, the people of Manitoba. Oui, certainement. Alors, CancerCare, c'est un organisme incroyable. Ça livre des services très importants chez nous, en tant que les Manitobains et Manitobaines, dans des situations très graves. Et puis aujourd'hui, nous sommes en train d'appuyer tout ce qui travaille ici à CancerCare pour la prochaine génération, pour ce qu'ils pourraient continuer ce bon travail dans un édifice remarquable avec un investissement pour appuyer vous, le peuple de cette province. Merci beaucoup.